After completing his first season at Lionheart, Mark Thompson was determined to keep the promise he had made to himself before accepting the job. He vowed that he wouldn't leave the club until they had won every local trophy available in American Samoa. That meant two key objectives: the league and the cup. Trophies that had eluded Lionheart despite several close calls, with the club finishing as runners-up numerous times. Finishing 8th in his debut season underscored the challenge ahead. The team had much work to do, and Mark knew that turning things around wouldn't be easy. The previous season's poor finish made it difficult to attract quality players, with many likely hesitant to join a club struggling to make an impact. Mark faced the daunting task of reshaping the squad, instilling a winning mentality, and overcoming the perception of Lionheart as an underdog. But with his resolve and vision, he knew that the journey ahead, though challenging, was one he was fully committed to seeing through until the very end. The dawn of the new season brought with it a renewed sense of purpose for Mark Thompson and Lionheart. Armed with the experiences and lessons learned from their inaugural campaign, Mark faced the daunting challenge of elevating the team's performance in a league where resources were scarce and amateur contracts were the norm. Undeterred by the constraints, Mark was determined to bolster the squad and instill a winning mentality. However, the reality of recruiting top-tier players on amateur contracts proved to be a formidable hurdle. Lionheart's modest ranking in the league made attracting talent a challenging endeavor. Yet Mark saw this as an opportunity to unearth hidden gems, nurturing local talent, and building a team that would defy expectations. With a keen eye for potential, Mark scoured local communities, engaging in grassroots initiatives and football development programs. The goal was not just to assemble a squad, but to cultivate a tight-knit team with a shared passion for the sport. Player by player, Lionheart began to take shape, a mosaic of local talent and a few seasoned players who saw potential in Mark's vision. Training sessions became a melting pot of determination and aspiration, with Mark emphasizing teamwork, discipline, and a commitment to excellence. Despite the financial constraints, the team embraced the amateur spirit, driven by a collective desire to prove that heart and dedication could triumph over adversity. As the season unfolded, Mark's strategic acumen came to the fore. The team, often considered underdogs, surprised opponents with their tenacity and tactical prowess. The stands, once sparsely populated, now echoed with the cheers of passionate fans who recognized the fighting spirit of Lionheart. Mark's long-term goal of steering Lionheart to the top of the league remained, a beacon of inspiration. Each match became a stepping stone toward that vision, and with every hard-fought point, the team inched closer to writing their narrative in Oceania football. As the season kickoff approached, a palpable sense of excitement enveloped Pago. Lionheart, though not among the favorites, carried the hopes and dreams of a community eager to witness their ascent. The journey that lay ahead was unpredictable, but with Mark at the helm, Lionheart was prepared to face the challenges head-on. As the first whistle of the new season echoed through the stadium at the end of July, Mark and Lionheart stood on the precipice of a fresh chapter. The season was a canvas waiting to be painted, and the team, with a blend of experienced players and emerging talents, was ready to script a story of resilience, triumph, and the unwavering pursuit of glory in the vibrant world of Oceania football. Lionheart's preseason friendlies delivered mixed results, leaving some uncertainty as they headed into their first league match. However, the team quickly dispelled any doubts, with a spirited comeback in their opening game against Uccelli. After falling behind 0-1, Lionheart rallied to secure a 2-1 victory, setting a positive tone for the season. Just 4 days later, they faced Pansa and continued their strong start with a convincing 3-1 win. Confidence was building, and the team seemed to be finding their rhythm, but the schedule was relentless, and another match against Pansa came just 4 days after that, this time in the President's Cup. Despite both teams struggling to break through, the match ended in a goalless draw. Forcing a penalty shootout, Lionheart held their nerve and came out on top, advancing to the next round of the Cup. With a 20-day break before their next league match against Green Bay, Lionheart had time to regroup. However, despite taking an early lead, they couldn't hold on, and the game ended in a disappointing 3-2 defeat. Next up was Pago Youth, where Lionheart faced a tough challenge. They found themselves down by 2 goals before halftime, but showed resilience by equalizing in the second half, with the last goal coming in the 91st minute. However, their efforts were undone. Just 2 minutes later, when Pago Youth scored again, handing Lionheart another 3-2 loss. Determined to bounce back, Lionheart entered their 5th league match, with renewed focus. They struck early, leading 1-0 after just 6 minutes and doubling their advantage by the 13th minute. Although the Afuna Jets pulled one back before halftime, Lionheart dominated the second half, adding 2 more goals to secure a 4-1 victory. After 5 matches, Lionheart had recorded 3 wins and 2 losses, showing promise but also revealing areas that needed improvement as they continued their campaign. Fast forward to the end of the season. The second season under Mark Thompson's management proved to be a roller coaster of highs and lows for Lionheart. The initial burst of success saw the team clinch victory in the first 3 games, including a thrilling penalty shootout triumph in the opening round of the Cup. The jubilant atmosphere surrounding the victories hinted at a promising season ahead. However, the journey took a turn with 2 consecutive losses that injected an air of challenge. Lionheart then rallied, securing 4 consecutive wins, a streak that included progress to the quarterfinals of the Cup. The team's resilience shone through, even as a subsequent rough patch saw only 2 points in 4 matches, including 3 games without finding the net. Just when doubts began to surface, Lionheart engineered a remarkable turnaround, winning 3 consecutive matches, one of which was a nail-biting 4-4 draw, decided by penalties in the semifinals of the Cup. However, history seemed to repeat itself, as another challenging streak followed, with 5 games without a win leading up to the final in the Cup. The Cup final brought both excitement and heartbreak, as Lionheart fought valiantly, but ultimately succumbed to a 2-3 defeat against Pago Youth. The disappointment, however, was tempered by the realization that the team had come a long way since the previous season. The final 2 games in the league showcased the team's character. A draw followed by a win that secured a 5th-place finish, 6 points higher than the previous year. The players, despite the challenges, had displayed a commendable resilience and growth under Mark's guidance. With the summer break on the horizon, Lionheart looked back on a season marked by exhilarating victories, tough lessons, and a determined push for success. The prospect of the upcoming season, set to commence in the middle of July, carried a mix of anticipation and determination. Mark, undeterred by the setbacks, was ready to lead Lionheart into a new chapter, armed with the lessons of the past and a vision for a brighter future in Oceania football. As the calendar turned to 2025, Mark found himself with nearly 6 months to strategize his next move in taking Lionheart to the top. The challenges ahead weighed heavily on his mind. He had crucial decisions to make. Should he bring in new players and risk disrupting the team's morale? Could he afford to invest in new coaching staff with the limited budget at his disposal? What vision did he have for the future of the club? And perhaps the biggest question of all, was it realistic to aim for the title next season? Or was that goal still out of reach?